Hey guys, this is EA spokesman Plamo Boob Report, and today I'm gonna look at some new items that's been announced during the Gunpla Expo 2020. This is for the Tokyo version, and unfortunately in the US, we only can view this online. But here's the good part: we can see what's going to happen online. Basically, what this website is telling us is that there are event exclusive kits and there are upcoming kits that they're going to announce during this expo. This is very exciting. Most of them are going to be in 2021 release. And let's go one by one. So let's scroll down this page. And most of these pages are translated in English by Google. So some of the terminology will be a little weird, but we'll just go from here. So the first thing that we want to look at is, of course, the PG Unleashed. Now, this one, it says general store. Basically, this means it's going to be a unlimited release will be available. Currently, this PG Unleashed now, everybody's waiting for this PG to be released out. It's going to roll out at December 19th of 2020, celebrating the 40th anniversary. This is one of the PG that's highly anticipated. I'm pretty excited as well. The light ups, especially the beam saber light up, is one of the cool factor, and the overall different layers of armor. That's kind of what it's going to accentuate the whole huge PG experience right there. Again, very excited for this one. This one will go for about $275. Right now it's at 27,000 yen. And we got the clear version for the premium Bandai release right here. So it's going to be the same thing, but looking at this one, I really like the overall clear color right here. Kind of remind me of like the really old clear kits that they had back in the day. I think it was like a mechanical clear or like an anniversary clear. But this kind of helps you look at what the interior looks like, because the interior has like two different type of frame parts here. One's the inner frame and the outer frame that kind of supports it. So this one is only for the clear body, which means the frame itself is not going to be included. So that's why it's about like 4,900 yen, which is about 50 bucks. Next, we're going to look at the newer ones. The newer one we see right here, right off the bat, is the RG High New Gundam. So very interesting. We got the High New for the RG version right there. And obviously, if you look at right here, this is from the novel From Char's Counterattack, Beltica Children. And it is very exciting to see here. Of course, all these that you're looking at right now, they're not final design. These are all CG. But very interesting detail right here is that most of them, it kind of follows the Ver-Ka detail, but not entirely. So this one could be another great kit to follow through. And of course, we're going to also look forward to the heavy weapons system that's going to be included in here. This one is due to release in summer of 2021, and yeah, I'm pretty excited. The next one, this is very surprising to me. So right now they look at HG Nightingale. Now, why I say it's very weird is that High New is going to be under the RG line, but for the Nightingale, it's going to be in the HG line. And if for those of you who've already put together the Reborn 100 version of it, Nightingale is a huge kit. So downsizing it to like even 1/144th scale, it's still going to be a huge kit, probably as big as a Penelope, the HG Penelope. This one is also set to release in the summer of 2021. And the detail itself, it's kind of more like a HD quality detail. I mean, compared to the RG that we just saw right now, but it is still going to be a big kit. I'm just wondering, everything is going to be all color separated correctly. All these yellow, I'm guessing. But yeah, it's going to be a huge kit, and I'm glad that High New and Nightingale are kind of like releasing together. Speaking of like living in the era, this was one of the biggest news that I've heard all day today. Finally, we got the release for the Sea Gundam, as you can see right here. Now, those of you who don't know, this is from Hathaway's Flash, which is going to be coming movie in the next year. And if you look at the details from right here, you're gonna see it's kind of like different. That's because this design is based off of the novel. So for those of you who don't know, Hathaway's Flash was originally a novel first before any of the video game adaptation and now of animated movie. So if we see right here, the biggest change point here is it looks very aggressive and there's like a V-fin in the middle of the chest. And I bet it's going to be as big as a Penelope right there, but the hovercraft unit itself is just awesome. Like the detail over there, it's awesome right there. I wonder if they're going to have this open up because that's where usually the funnel missile usually come out of. I can't really make it out of this photo, but you could kind of see the articulation is kind of limited. But I bet it's going to be almost exactly the same as a Penelope. Regardless, this is one of the kit that I am looking forward to build. This will release in April of 2021, along with the movie coming a month later. And of course, you're going to have the rival scenes right there, but we got the HG Sea Gundam versus Penelope funnel effect set. Now, similar to the RG that we have saw for RG New, this particular compilation also includes the effects part. Now, I don't know if this effects part is going to be sold separately, but I'm guessing since it's going to be a huge box because Penelope was also a big box itself, so I'm curious to know how big this box is going to be. Maybe it's going to be as big as a PG. Regardless, so from what I'm looking at right now, it's including the Penelope and the Sea Gundam along with the additional effects part right there. So that is pretty interesting. I'm not sure if the effects part is going to be included in the Kasi just by itself. Regardless, this is also set to release April of 2021 at 17,300 yen, which is around 170 or to $180. Next, we're gonna see the RG Wing Gundam. Now, this one, Wing Gundam has been getting some love for the HG lineup, and now for RG, they're going to release the TV animation version. Now, personally, this design is very classic and see, but if you look at through the CG right here, you're gonna see there's a lot of details that has been included, and it looks great. I mean, this is a CG, but still, it would look great to go through. And here's the highlight of it. You can see the wings just kind of bend, so it kind of looks like the EW Wing Zero custom. And as you can see from here, normally those wings doesn't flap like that. Now this looks more like a wing that you would see in a bird. And this is a very interesting design choice in my opinion because Wing Gundam was more like a very basic looking mobile suit, which some people love that simplicity, but this one adds to the complex of that simplistic design even more. It's more like a hidden gimmick, which I kind of like. Now, oh, take a look at that. Like, just by itself, you can see it's trying to revert back to the Wing Zero EW. And this is a very nice touch. And for those who have never put together an RG or just looking for like a wing kit, this I think is going to be a must. If this goes well, that means the other Gundams will have their own version of the RG. This is set to release in spring of 2021. And yeah, this is a very interesting kit right there. Now, next one looks to be a sample, and this is the MG Virtue. Now, we have been waiting for all 4 of the 00 Gundams just to come out. Last year, it was the Curious that came out finally. So out of 3, this is the last one that will come out from the original 00 saga. Virtue, what I'm particularly interested is going to be what's inside the Virtue, because as you guys know, inside Virtue is Gundam Nadore. Nadore has its own specific frame, and I'm very curious to know like how big is this kit. First of all, like, this is a very bulky mobile suit, and how the whole purge armor thing going to work, like the combination of the armor, because Virtue is going to be a chunky boy. So I'm very interested in how it's going. We only have this sample sketch itself too, and looks like the sketch itself is pretty detailed. It kind of follows suit with the amount of detail that an MG kit should have. Regardless, this will set sometime around next year, 2021, and I'm very looking forward for this one as well. Next one is going to be a premium Bandai release. This is the MG Gundam Mark V, and very interesting enough, Mark V Very interesting enough, Mark V only had an appearance on like some figures, but as a model kit, I think there's only a few that just came out. And the Mark V is a very interesting looking kit. It doesn't look like those like chunky Mark II-esque kind of proportion. I mean, the Mark III and the Mark IV, you kind of see the resemblance there, but for Mark V, this is a very different kit. Looks like it's from a different era. So right now, the only thing that they have listed here is that commercialization has been decided, which means they have been planning this for a very long time and they're now finally getting it out there. So again, for those who are interested in the Gundam Mark series, this is a must too. The next one is going to be a general release. It's going to be for the MG Mobile Jin. Now, last time we looked at the MG Luna Maria Zaku with the Blaze Zaku, and then there's some Slash Zaku. So Sea Destiny Kids has been getting some love for the MG lineup, and now we have Mobile Jin. Very interesting, as Mobile Jin only received like a little bit of love for the old HG lineup, but in an MG, now this, for all the Grunt Suit fans out there, this is actually a very good news. And looking through the detail, I mean, Mobile Jin has this like very specific detail of like mainly the wings. It's kind of accentuate kind of the overall elegance of like an elite soldier, like Zaft is basically. And I am guessing that they probably use a similar frame with the Luna Maria Zaku. The reason I say that is because the amount of mold lines and then kind of the overall silhouette structure kind of reminds me of that Zaku. I mean, I bet if you just put a Zaku spike shoulder just right there, you could complete and kind of combine Luna's Zaku warrior together and it won't look as awkward. Regardless, this will be released in spring of 2021. So if you're a Seed fan, this could be one of the beginning portion of getting more Seed Destiny kits. Next one is a very weird kind of description. So this isn't an MG as it states right there, but this is a 1/100th Calamity Gundam. Also planned to release in spring of 2021. But the Calamity Gundam has no specific grade, so I'm not entirely sure what this is going to be about. Usually Seed lineups, they have the 1/100 series, no grade. They have a lot of them, but in a detail like this, and they call it a no grade, that is very interesting to me. And especially Calamity Gundam, where it is kind of a popular one among the 3 Earth Federation pilots that was in Seed. But looking through the overall detail, it kind of shows a similar detail to the Mobile Jin. So I don't know why this isn't an MG grade. So that's a very curious thing that I would like to see more in the future. This is also set to release in spring of 2021. So more info as we go forward. The next two kits are going to be very similar because it is the MG Dom. Dom had previously had an MG, so I'm guessing this is the revival or the renew version of it. So there's going to be 2 different types. One is going to be just regular Dom, the other one is Rick Dom. If you don't know the difference, one is for ground and one is for space. The Rick is for space. So they're going to be very similar in terms of the overall frame. and kind of the silhouette itself. I think the only difference is going to be is one has like a booster frame and the other one has like a laser bazooka weapon right there. So looking through this, it's very simple. It's a very simple Xeon mobile suit. Maybe I could see some little refinement in the articulation because Dom, I think it was like a very old kid when the MG was first released. And that was the only Dom kit that has been released. So looking, kind of skimming through both of them, as you can see, the weapon is the only portion that changed, and I think some portion of the leg has changed as well. It doesn't look like it back here, but there should be a small little difference once we get more information. So the release date has not been decided yet, so we'll stay tuned for more information. Going back to the seed line, we got HG Dagger L from Seed Destiny. Now, 2020 also introduced Windom, which is also a Seed Destiny kit, and that one was a pretty good kit, like in terms of like the simplicity and just being a grunt suit overall. So it's not a surprise that any lower other mass production grunt suit will be out. And looking through this Dagger L, again, it's very similar to the Windom. I mean, it is what's based off of the Windom anyways, so I could see a lot of like Seed fans coming here and customizing the heck out of this kit. I mean, at the back, you can see it shows the same strike weapon connection system over there. So you could attach the AO strike, the launcher strike, the sword strike, or even impulse Gundam packs also works as well. So there's a lot of variety of things that you can do. This is going to be a fun kit for those who are into grunt suits. And the articulation doesn't look too bad. It's actually pretty good. This is set to release in spring of 2021, and we'll see when we get more information. Now, next one is a fan favorite, and personally my favorite too during the Wing series. This is the Gundam HG Gundam Death Scythe. And wow, just look at the overall classic design here. Death Scythe personally was like my favorite design because it had involved God of Death, and at the time it was very unique. And from what you can see right here, I have high hopes to this kit because a lot of the color separations here are possible, and there's not really a lot of things that you could add for Death Scythe to be more difficult. The shield, and then also the beam scythe, the hyperjammer, and everything. Everything is just so classic and simple. I am very excited for this kit. So far, all of the HG Wing kits that came out, Sandrock and Heavy Arms, have been praised for its simplicity and its classic design. So I bet everyone's very excited for the Death Scythe and for Shalong to come out later. This is also set to release in spring of 2021, and I hope the God of Death returns again. The next one is a very surprising general release. Now, one would think that any minor kit from the IBO series is going to be P Bandai, but they haven't done that with this one. This is Gundam Grammary for HG grade. And Grammary was a very minor popular kit design because this only came out in not in the animation, but in, I believe, in a side story manga or novel. And from there, you could only see this in those adaptations or in a video game adaptation. And Grammary, the design itself, it's very, very good. I mean, I'd say it's kind of on par with the Death Scythe that we just saw earlier because it kind of has kind of like a scythe as a weapon. But the overall design, especially the helmet over there, it looks just so mean. The backpack as well. No wonder this is a fan favorite because the design itself is perfect. And the helmet, I think it goes into like a face-off mode, and that's cool. This is set later in summer of 2021, and IBO fans, you'll be lucky to hear that IBO might be coming back. Next, we'll be looking at the HG Zaku. Now, despite the name, this is going to be very similar to the Zaku that we just got released from this year. Now, I would want to call this Zaku Revived because of the overall design of it is very similar to that of a refined revised version. What I mean by that is this is more of a design that looks more similar to the anime accurate, which means you're going to see the overall arm, you can turn it sideways just like in the sketch. And the skirt itself, it's not, there's two, I bet there's two different types. There's going to be that rubberized skirt that we saw for the Zaku. So this one as well, it's going to be totally the exact same thing. It's just in a grunt color. So for those who missed out on the Zaku, this is coming out, and this looks to have more weapons than, no. This is set to release from 2021, so no release date has been decided, but I'm guessing this might come first because this is a very simple kit to replicate during the molding line. Next, we're going to go over the few SD lineups here. First, we're going to look at is, and I think this translation is wrong, but it's called the Goku Gundam. That's, I don't think that's the case, but we'll just go with it for the sake of this video. The Goku Gundam, it's from their new series called the SD Gundam World Heroes, and I believe this is kind of the first one here. And I have not seen the SD series, so I do not know what the story is going to be about. But if it's going to be related to Romance of the Three Kingdom, but with the Sayuki series, I'm guessing, then this will be Son Goku first, the monkey. Looking through it, overall, those Dynasty Warrior type of a SD design, those has been getting a lot of great reviews and attention. So as you can see from here, the overall design and the color looks fairly good. I'm not sure if that gold is going to be that gold, but we'll see as time goes by. This is set to release in April of 2021. Next few SD kits. So we got the Nobunaga Gundam. The Nobunaga Gundam, I believe this is based on Oda Nobunaga, and I'm not entirely sure what this World Heroes is going to be about, but I believe it's going to be about all the famous leaders in world history. This one's pretty cool. This one has the whole samurai-esque kind of silhouette with the armor and especially the head. That one looks like the samurai helmet with the sword on the left side, as all samurais do those. And the cape looks awesome in my eyes. I mean, it's only in the one side, but I think that is stylish right there. This is also set to release in April of 2021. Next Gundam is going to be Sergeant Gundam. I have no idea what this Sergeant is going to be about, but I believe it's like a mistranslation. But looking at the overall color scheme, it kind of reminds me of a Kamen Rider-ish kind of scheme here. I mean, yeah, if you just look at it, like it has the whole police color-esque kind of red and blue, and the helmet on the forehead, you can see it looks to me a police emblem or some sort. And I'm not entirely sure because I've not watched the series before, but that seems to be the case from right here. But the overall design looks very good. It's very boxy and there's a lot of mold lines there, and it seems to be a fun SD that I would get into. And for the first time I've seen an SD kit, it uses a gun. Normally, like Romance of the Three Kingdom, like Sangokuchi SD lineups all use melee weapons, and even if they use range, it's going to be like a bow or like a disc or some sort. But this guy is using a gun, which kind of tells me that this whole world tournament thing is anything goes in any different timeline. So I'm pretty intrigued of what this is going to be about. Also, this is also set in April of 2021. Next is going to be a very weird name that I have never seen in a Gundam series. This is called the Benjamin Gundam. And and I'm guessing this is kind of a tribute to Ben Franklin. This is a very weird kit that I see right here, but kind of has that feel of like an English man who's going on not like a pirate, but more like a ship crew. As you can see, looking from the hat and the overall sword itself, it's got that design, but I'm not sure if this is motive to Ben Franklin. That I don't think that's the case. I hope that's not the case because that's gonna be really weird. This is also set. This is gonna be set in spring of 2021, and we'll get some more information as it goes. The next SD is going to be an unknown name. Now, this is very interesting too, and let's check it out what this says. So this one says that this is a World Hero New Product A, which means they haven't really given a name yet. So it's still under development, but the design is right here. The design looks to be more Native American, but it kind of has that other Asian vibe. Like there's that belt that's hanging around, or are those like dreadlocks? That's gonna be very interesting to see what nationality this is gonna be. Ooh, and then that big sword at the back. Now that really caught my eye with the bandana that's going out. So this is very interesting. I wonder what this is. So we'll hear from it a little bit more in spring. The next one also has a no name. It's called New Product B. And this one, I could tell right now, it's a little more of a ninja-esque kind of design. The overall design kind of reminds you of Schubert's, which you could tell by the overall the shoulders and everything. So it's tribute to more like a ninja-esque kind of design, as you can see from the fox head right there. Usually Kunoichi wears those kind of masks. So I'm not even sure if this is a female or a male, because normally those fox masks are worn by female ninjas. But regardless, you can see the huge shuriken at the back of the head and a long blade at the back. Again, these are all like ninja-esque features. So yeah, this one is also pretty interesting. And I love the color scheme for this one. It's dark, but it has the accent of red, which kind of fits perfectly. We'll hear more about this kid in spring of 2001. Yeah, and these ST series, I gotta check them out what they're about. You thought that was over? No, we got a lot more. So next one's going to be a premium Bandai. This one is the MGF90 Unit 2. And wow, I don't know how many F90s exist in the world of Gundam, but the F90A to Z project continues with the purple version. This one has various mission packs and also be equipped for this one, and it looks just to be a color swap with the F90 Unit 1, which is blue. This one's more like purple. So if you missed the blue one, now's your chance to get the purple one. Maybe you can paint it out. This is set, doesn't really say when, so look out for, yeah, this one doesn't have a date of release just yet, so just take a look out of when the reservation period will be. And speaking of F90, the Jupiter Battle Specification Pack is going to be released as well. Now, this one does not include the F90 Gundam itself. This is only just going to be the weapons pack, as you can see right here. And I don't know how many weapons exist in the F90 lineup, but this is what you will get. Looks to be an extra booster with some sort of a fighter and a huge shot lance right there. Considering it's the Formula 90 timeline, that's when Crossbow Vanguard started using this kind of technology with the lance. This one also does not have a date, so please look out for it if you're a F90 fan. The price is going to be around 2,200 yen, so about 22 bucks. So not bad for small parts there. Next is another premium Bandai, and this one is for the HG Gemini's Unit 2. And this one is a land battle heavy equipment unit expansion part. Personally, I have never seen this before in my life. I think right now the G Unit manga is being redone, and I think they added this to it for this reason. So my guess is that basically the Unit 2 is not included because Unit 2 has already started their reservation. I think the reservation is closed right now, but same with the space pack for the Gemini's 1. This is going to be for the land battle pack, which is going to be those chunky armors that you can see right there, along with the big fat gun. And this is to be only just a sample because it's only prime. It's not showing all the colors. But regardless, if you're into a chunky Gundam, this is the one for you if you have the Unit 2. No other date has been specified. So again, stay tuned for more information in the future. Another premium Bandai that you see right here is going to be the Real Experience model Unicorn. So this is the Auto Trans edition, which I'm guessing this is the one where it would move only for the bust to be closed to it go back to the Unicorn mode to the Destroy mode. So as you can see in the next picture right there, yeah, this is going to be one of those auto transformation gimmick. It kind of captures the experience that we saw when we see the 101 real scale Unicorn Gundam currently in Tokyo Odaiba City. And it looks like it says it can drive, light emission, sound and play. I believe those are type of modes that it will play. So kind of like one of our iHomes that kind of react to music. I think that's going to be the case. And it is huge. It is bigger than an RG Unicorn. So, wow, that is one huge bust right there. This is set to release in 2021. It is a premium Bandai, so I'm not sure how this would work. We'll stay tuned for more information on those parts. We are almost done. We only got like about 6 more kits left to go. The next one is also a premium Bandai. This is the HG Pale Rider Cavalry. Pale Rider, for those of you who don't know, came from a game called Side Stories for the PS3. It's a Japan-only release, and they had many spin-offs and mangas regarding this kit right there. Basically, this is a failed Blue Destiny experiment under the name of Hades. And the Pale Rider has been a very popular kit. And currently right now, I think they're trying to replicate the... What is this? Currently, they're trying to replicate the Cavalry version, which in the game, Pale Rider kind of goes through to some changes, and it kind of upgrades from its counterpart before. So I think that's accentuating that whole armor itself. The biggest part about this one is, of course, the armor change. You can see the V, there's additional V fin that's been added here. But that big gun, Shekinah, has been added here. And that is a huge gun, as you can see from right there. It's been one of the weapons that a lot of people are trying to replicate. But now it's officially going to be released. So it's a very exciting news for Pale Rider fans. Personally, for me, I love the Pale Rider, but I just need to stop collecting Pale Riders because there's been a lot more limited edition hunt that I thought there would be. This one doesn't have a date yet because it's a premium Bandai. So stay tuned for more information on how you can get your hands in this awesome kit. Next one we're going to look at is the Gundam Base exclusive. This is the MGEX Gundam Base Limited Unicorn Gundam version TWC. For those of you who don't know what TWC stands for, it stands for Tokyo Water City. And basically, as it sounds, they had previous different type of statue. So the real scale unicorn, it's basically generally referred to the TWC version because that's the only unicorn Gundam that you see in that pose. And they've released like a RG version of it, which has no articulation, but it just lights up. This is essentially that version, I bet. However, judging with the price, it looks like you are getting the actual MGEX along with the huge base that you see right there. And it looks like I was right. That huge base is also a huge lightning base right there. And for those who have not received or pre-ordered the MGEX, well, this is probably a very good chance, because now the quantity is going to be unlimited, but it's just going to be a shop exclusive. It includes everything that you've seen in the MGEX line. However, there are some extra items that you can see right here. The extra Gatling gun for the shield. I believe that was included before, but yeah, most of the things are probably included. This includes a new water slide decal. It also has a different backpack. So it's a revised version, as you can, judging by this description right here. So this is going to be set release in December of 2020, which is pretty soon. And you have to go to a Gundam base to get this kit. So if you're ever in any area where they have Gundam base, please look out for this one. This next one is something that I really want to figure out what type it is. So this is also a Gundam base exclusive MG Gundam base limited RX-78-2 Perfect Gundam version, anime color. Now that title is a mouthful, but what I really want to know is what version that this is based out of. So historically, the RX-78 had a lot of different variations and a lot of different versions. We start from the version 1 for the 1.5 to 2 to 3. And one thing I'm very confused about is I do not know what this is going to be based out of. Judging by the overall silhouette and kind of the shape, this seems to be very similar to a 2.0. However, the face itself doesn't look like a 2.0 face. And the leg detail over there kind of had a mixture of from the 3.0. So could this be 2.5? Regardless, it didn't really say anything about what number lineup is going to be, but here's what the description says. The limited Gunpla of the official Gunpla General Facility Gundam base. Specifically modeled and existed only inside interior of the MG Perfect Gundam, released in 2003. Reproduced and with coloring that imagined the hue of anime work. Oh, so it's basically based out of a very old kit, which is the Perfect Gundam. Perfect Gundam kind of looked like this. So this is a very interesting. This is a very interesting. This is a very interesting release because now we're going backwards in terms of what they're trying to sell here. So again, this is a Gundam-based release, limited release. This is a Gundam-based shop exclusive. It's gonna set to schedule in December of 2020. Also, for this price range, yeah, it's not that bad at all. This is even cheaper than the other MGs that you see nowadays. So my guess is going to be a very old kit, but still, it's something to look forward to. This next one is a very special one, as this is the Gundam Factory Yokohama exclusive RX-78 F00 bust. Now, this is what's commonly referred to as the moving Gundam, as the detail of itself has a lot of mold and articulation. Previously, they had like all the releases for the HG and then the 1/100th version. And this is kind of their shop exclusive. So if you ever visit Yokohama in the Gundam factory, this is kind of the thing that you would get. Now, looking at this doesn't look like a kit at all, but more like a centerpiece or like a statue. But it does say that it moves and it lights up. So there's a little known fact about what this is going to be. It basically is just a bust, and I'm not entirely sure if this is going to be all plastic, we have to make it ourselves, or is it going to be just sold as is. Looking at the lighting itself, it's very basic. It's a bust that just lights up. I just wish that this red and green portion lights up too. I think that would make it a little more fancier that way. This is also scheduled to release in December of 2020, and yeah, it's just a bust. Now the next two are going to be very similar, as it's in one under one. Now these last, is this the last one? Now these last two kits we're going to look at today is going to be a Shanghai exclusive version. And these are going to be the 1/100th Freedom Gundam and the SDEX standard Freedom Gundam. Now, Freedom kind of became one of the symbol of Shanghai because Shanghai just released their Gundam base, just opened the Gundam base over there. And this one is modeled after a full-scale Freedom Gundam statue that they will install in Shanghai, China. Kind of similar to the Unicorn Gundam that we see in Tokyo. Shanghai has a Freedom Gundam. I guess Freedom Gundam is very popular over there. But looking at this, this seems to be a one. Now this seems to be a 1/100 kid, not an MG. And I remember back like over 20 years ago, there was a 1/100th Freedom Gundam, which was very decent. It was a very basic kit, and I had nothing bad to say about that kid. I wonder if this is that kid, or is this going to be the MG version of it. But judging by looking at the CG, I don't know. This could be completely new, but the non-grade symbol kind of makes me a little worried. Regardless, I think it's something that people in Shanghai will be able to enjoy without the complexity of the MG. So I think it's pretty good. So currently, this has not been scheduled to release because I think they're still working on the Freedom Gundam over there. So once that's complete, I believe this will come out. The SDEX standard Freedom Gundam, this one is just a Freedom Gundam SDEX standard, but in a Shanghai version. So all the molds you see there, I believe that's based on the statue that they're trying to complete in Shanghai. And yeah, this is just the SDEX with just those details. Nothing really too special other than the mold itself, but again, this might be really good for little children who cannot get the big kits right there. So they're either or. And this one also, we need to wait for the release date until the Freedom Gundam statue is complete. Well, I hope you enjoyed that viewing of the new items from the Gundam Expo Tokyo 2020. That's a mouthful, and I think every event's going to have a long name like that in the future. Regardless, this is a very exciting news for Gunpla fans everywhere. I mean, the new movie that's going to finally come out. Generally speaking, this is a very exciting news for Gunpla fans for a while. I mean, 2021 is going to be a very good year for Gunpla and for Gundam fans. Not for my wallet, though. For more information on like the new kit release, stay tuned to your like local like information, to your local social media of where you get all your Gundam information. I will try my best to have all the information to you guys directly to you as we move forward from this new segment that I really want to try this out. So, from that being said, this has been EA Spuds from the Plamo Build Report, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.